Bienvenido a mi canal, Wild Music. I'm Bryden. So, a little bit about Camilo Sesto. He was born in 1946 in Alcoy, Spain. And he died quite recently, actually, in 2019, aged 72. His full birth name was Camilo Blanes Cortés, and he was also known as El Rey del Amor. Yes, he was a singer, songwriter and music producer, and actually one of the most influential Spanish artists, and he's also influenced many musicians and artists. In 1971, he started going by the name Camilo Sesto, and by 1975, he'd released a number of albums. Actually, in 1975, he starred in the Spanish version of Jesus Christ Superstar as Jesus. And it was actually a production that he financed entirely. I've actually reacted to him performing Gethsemane, actually twice on my channel, so you will find those reactions if you wish to watch those. I've also reacted to some other Camilo Sesto performances as well. So, him performing in Jesus Christ Superstar was enormously inspirational, and he did an outstanding job. He also had a string of other hits throughout his life, many hits, and Camilo, interestingly, required a liver transplant that he had in 2001. And even after having this, quite shortly after, I think it might have been a couple of years, not very long after such a major surgery, he then released his next album. This song, Amor Amar, Love to Love, was actually written by Camilo Sesto along with Bose Borloni Lucia. So the album that this was off was Solo un Hombre, released in December 1972, and this translates to Only One Man. I'd like to read a translation that I have here in front of me to the song. Again, as you'll understand, not all translations are perfect, but it'll give us some idea anyway. So, my love to love. I have no wings to tell you my wounds, and up in the sky there are passing clouds by snowbirds. My love, if your pain would be mine and mine yours, what a beautiful world. What a beautiful, I'm not sure what it doesn't say, beautiful something it would be, my love to love. I don't have a window for my solitude to show itself, and even the crystals of the silent cry in silence. Or crystals of the silence cry in silence. My love, if your pain would be mine and mine yours, what a beautiful life it would be. My love to love. Something like that. I don't have a today, neither a yesterday, but I will have a tomorrow. For me to fly. A walk through streets with your name, keep in my fist, and I'm dragging a scarf with memories carried to the forgetfulness. My love, if your pain would be mine and mine yours, what a beautiful something it would be. Love to love. Riding at night, your name is approaching. I don't have weeping, neither caresses. And in the air many black fans announced your arrival. My love, if your pain would be mine and mine yours, what a beautiful something it would be. Love to love. Excellent. The lyrics here I've got say what a beautiful it would be, my love to love. So there's obviously a word in there. We have to just sort of have an educated guess, I suppose. But that's okay. It gives us an idea, doesn't it? And this performance, well, I'm not really sure, to be honest. It could have been a video clip. It's him performing, obviously, and him singing, obviously. It could have been a pre-recording and this a video clip. But from what I could find out, I believe this clip, so it might have been, he might have even been performing on a show or something, was from 1980, even though the song was from 1972. So that's sort of what, as far as I could work out, it was. But anyway, somewhere back then. Let's hear him.
Yo no tengo alas para decirte mis heridas, y en el cielo pasan nubes del pájaro de nieve. Amor, si tu dolor fuera mío y el mío tuyo, qué bonito sería. Amor, amar. No tengo ventana para asomar mi soledad, y hasta los cristales del silencio lloran silencio. Amor, si tu dolor fuera mío y el mío tuyo, qué bonito sería. Amor, amar. No tengo hoy ni ayer, pero sí tendré un mañana para volar. Yo voy por las calles con tu nombre cerrado en mi puño, y voy arrastrando una bufanda con recuerdos hacia el olvido. Amor, si tu dolor fuera mío y el mío tuyo, qué bonito sería. Amor, amar. Cabalgando la noche, se acerca tu nombre. Yo no tengo llanto ni caricias, y en el aire muchos abanicos negros que anunciaron tu llegada. Amor, si tu dolor fuera mío y el mío tuyo, qué bonito sería. Amor,
Oh, that was legendary. What an absolutely stellar performance from Camilo Sesto that was. Oh, it's no wonder he was so huge and such a brilliant performer. That was such a good performance. It actually does look like it's live. Wow. Oh, still getting over it. Let me just try and get rid of this advert, and then I'll take you back on a journey through the song. And I have a few notes that I've made as we went through it just then. and I'd like to talk it through, and some of the points that I've noted that I found so brilliant that Camilo Sesto did in this performance of Amaramor. So we start with a short introduction, and then his vocals enter about 6 seconds in. His vocals come in, and you can hear how silky and smooth they are. He connects every syllable so well with such a legato style. So legato, a musical term for really smooth and connected. And he captures your attention immediately with this. It's brilliant. You can also hear the intensity of his emotions and the emotion in his voice right from note number 1 or syllable number 1. And this really brings the meaning of the song to life as well. So let's hear up to that point. I've got more to say, much more.
Yo no tengo alas para decirte mis heridas, y en el cielo pasan nubes del pájaro de nieve. Amor, si tu dolor.
Just pause it there. I'll go back again. So in the second phrase, he goes up to the higher note. So he's got the first little bit. Then the second phrase moves up into his higher register, at least for a bit. And he gets this with such ease and accuracy. It's like he's floating up there or going on a slippery slide up to that note. Although instead of sliding down a slide, as you normally would do, he's going up. And it just sounds so silken or silky and smooth as well with his voice. Let's go back.
Yo no tengo alas para decirte mis heridas, y en el cielo pasan nubes del pájaro de nieve. Amor, si tu dolor fuera mío.
So here, and a couple of times just before, you can hear he's used a touch of vocal fry as well. That Amor, the little crackle at the start. And it just adds a nice little sprinkling of something extra. It's like a little treat. And sounds really good. It's just a little vocal technique, but sounds so effective when used effectively like he does. And then he also had a bit of vibrato in there that he controls so brilliantly too. I'll go back a touch. Actually, I think that's coming up.
Amor, si tu dolor fuera mío y el mío tuyo, qué bonito sería. Amor, amar.
And he ended with that nice vibrato there. In fact, I think that was the one that I noted, but he had a little bit before that too. A bit more vocal fry just to keep it interesting. And so that there was some continuity of ideas, I suppose you could say, or in this case it's a vocal technique, but it gives it that continuity so it's not just stuck out there all on its own, this little bit of fry. He does a few times. I like it. You know, Camilo had such a lyric, and in this song, as well as everything else I've heard of his, he had such a lyrical voice that's instantly recognisable. And yes, it's no wonder he was such a prolific and such a well-respected artist. Okay, let's go on. In this section, I'll pause it there, he stretches the time a bit. Listen out for that. I'll come back, talk a bit more in a minute.
No tengo ventana para asomar mi soledad, y hasta los cristales del silencio lloran silencio, amor.
Yeah, so you could hear, particularly at the start of this section, this particular verse, he really he's choosing to stretch the time, which really keeps it. It's like it keeps the song suspended in time. It's like a bit of stretch, still in time, but, you know, there's a bit of fluidity and a bit of flexibility that he uses. And, well, there's a great, just suspended in time. Like, why did I say that? Because now it's made me think of another great song by Olivia Newton-John called Suspended in Time. Great song. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It was off the movie from the 1980s, Xanadu, that Olivia Newton-John was in and sang a lot of the songs in. Brilliant. Suspended in Time, that song. The movie Xanadu. But anyway, I highly recommend it. So Camilo had such beautiful character to his voice, and he tells the story really well. And I say this a lot in my reactions, that it's so important to tell the story of the song, because that's the most important aspect of a song when you're performing. Telling the story, doing a good job of it. So anyway, go back a touch and let's get going.
Llora en silencio, amor, si tu dolor fuera mío y el mío tuyo, qué bonito sería. Amor, amar. No tengo hoy ni ayer, pero sí tendré un mañana.
How nice was that descending phrase there, down to mañana. Oh, it's just, once again, his voice is silky and smooth, and it's got that fluidity. Like I said, it just floats and slides. That time it was down the slippery slide, you could imagine, and it was just so beautiful. I love it. Go back a touch.
Mañana para volar. Yo voy por las calles con tu nombre cerrado en mi puño y voy arrastrando una bufanda.
Yes, so his intense... Oh, I didn't mean to pause it halfway through his voice there. But he's building the intensity. Well, the song is building in intensity as well in this section. And he uses dynamics and power in his voice to give that variation too, the light and shade. Dynamics are really important. Bit of loud, bit of soft. It's not just loud and soft. Could be soft, medium softness, medium loudness, loudness, very loud. There's such a range of dynamics. And he uses this to help tell a story. I've also got that's what I've got noted here. We'll save the next bit for a moment.
Recuerdo hacia el olvido, amor, si tu dolor fuera mío y el mío tuyo, qué bonito sería. Amor, amar.
Another bridge. Come back to the start of the bridge, but I'll just mention this. Listen out for his dramaticism. He's brilliant at the dramatics, bringing the song to life, communicating the sentiments of the song to the listener. So important, and he does this so well. I love it. And he's got his higher register in action here as well, which is great. And he's got that great and beautiful vocal character in his voice again. I really love it.
Negros que anunciaron tu llegada, amor, si tu dolor fuera mío y el mío
just so polished. Brilliant. And that a cappella phrase was really, really nice. He had that really well controlled vibrato right through to the end, and has had a bit of touch of vocal fry again in this last section just to add a bit of interest, which is really, really nice. I love it. Let's just hear a little bit of that ending, and we'll lead into the instrumental ending again and finish there. And isn't he so well in character right to the end? That was impressive. Wow. I really love that. Once again, from Camilo Sesto, Amaramor. I hope you enjoyed my reaction. Please feel free to leave a comment. I do read everything. I try and respond to many comments. I don't get around to all, sorry. But I try to. But I do read your comments, so please feel free to leave them, or a like, or subscribe if you wish, if you haven't already, or dislike if you feel it's not so good. That's fine too. I appreciate you watching my videos, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon on another reaction video. From Australia, see you later.